Hello, this morning I'm going to show you how I sew with twin needles. Actually, watch me show. So, let's see, yeah, okay. Sometimes it's satisfying just to watch other people sew or do whatever. I'm top stitching on a pocket. One thing you always have to remember is when you're sewing with twin needles, you're sewing the top. You're not sewing the underneath, so you have to be very careful. You don't want to be sewing on the wrong side, so I always look everything over very carefully to make sure that I'm sewing on the pretty side that I'm going to want showing. And this is just the decorative top part of my pocket. So this is going to be where you put your hand in. Alright, now I'm going to top stitch down my straps, up and down the top of them. Alrighty. Whoops, I don't want that side. I look and see which side is the prettiest that I want to show. When I get these done, I'll pull them off and show you. I had never used a twin needle before. And I don't know, I was making 2 lines of sewing and doing it one at a time, and I don't know what made me think to use these, but they were intimidating to me because I had never used them. But once I started using the twin needles and figured out the ins and outs of it, you know, basically that I had to sew on the right side of the fabric, the side that's showing, then it wasn't hard at all. I'm going to have to sew down the other side of these straps, so when I stop here, I'll show you what they look like. And I use both hands to guide to try to make my seams straight. It's pretty important to make your seams straight. You don't want wavy lines going all up and down your stuff. All right. Can you see that double stitching there? To get it so the light shows it, and maybe this fabric isn't the best to show this, but I wanted to show you what the back looks like. It's down here. There it is. It's sort of just a zigzag because you have 2 needles on the top, but you only have 1 bobbin, so that bobbin's got to go back and forth and catch both sides. I just thought it was pretty interesting. And another thing you want to do is when you're sewing down the other side, you want to make sure that you've got your top stitching on this side, because seems like I have to learn everything the hard way, and it's pretty easy to rip out, but you don't want to if you don't have to. I wish I could find some double needles just a little bit farther apart. I think they mostly use these double needles for making like t-shirts and stuff, but I'm liking it for this. Alright, now I'm going to show you how I figure out where to sew on the body of the apron. And I've got this big piece of fabric here, and I'm going to sew each side. So this is, I know this is the top, but it's hard to see where that bottom is, how far it goes over. So what I do is I go to the other end and I flip it up here and I measure where I'm going to have to put my needle, so I know which mark I'm going to want to use so that I catch all of this. So I can use this metal mark that's not, it's just part of my faceplate. So that's what I'm going to use to be my guide on this one. Always hold on to your thread so it doesn't go back in. Always back stitch. And I just take my time. I don't try to sew a million miles an hour because I want my product to be pretty and durable. And as you can see, I serge my edges. Sure hope you can see this. Let me try another one just for fun. Yeah, that's kind of a different angle. I never pull on my fabric unless it's like some kind of heavy thing that I'm having a hard time getting through. My main thing is to keep it in line and to keep it smooth. So I'm constantly shifting my fabric around. Alright, I gotta be careful there. I made a little pucker, so I am going to stop and get rid of that pucker. This is a seam ripper, and it is your friend. So I'm just going to take out the last couple of stitches. And when you're nipping off your thread, just be real super sure that you're not catching your fabric. I'm going to cut it close but not touch your fabric. So I'm going to come back here where I was, back up just a little bit. I think I might get my line right. Take a couple stitches and a couple stitches back, and then finish my sewing. And back stitch and stop. Now I'm going to trim my threads, and then I'm going to go to the other side and do that one. And I don't have to remeasure where I want to run my seam along because I just did on this side. So I ironed them both about the same. I use my thumb for a measure, and so I know that I can put them on the same marking. And I'm going to bring in another angle. See if this one works. And I press, press, press. Press, press, press. I do some stitching and press, do some stitching and press. And I may be a little crazy about that. Maybe others don't do that, but I feel like that makes my product look more professional. And my friends who I make these aprons for, I want them to love them. I want them to be able to look at the stitching and see that it's nicely done and that I took a lot of care with their apron and I didn't just do it to try to hurry up. So I'm going to go back now and I'm going to take this to my ironing board and I'm going to press it to crisp up my seams. Are you even seeing that? No, you're not. I'm going to press along here where I just stitched to crisp up my seams. Can you see that double stitching? And I don't have to double stitch it. I can single stitch it, but I want it to look pretty and I like the look. And so that's what I do. Alrighty, well, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Sew on. Bye-bye.